You ever meet that voice in your head? The one that says stop when things get hard? That voice is a liar. And today, I'll teach you how to silence it permanently. Let me tell you something real. Nobody cares how tired you are. Nobody's handing out trophies for almost making it. And life, it's not checking in on your feelings when the storm hits. Mental toughness, it's not a quote you post. It's forged in the hours when no one's watching. It's built when your legs are screaming, lungs burning, and your mind says, just quit. But you don't. You keep going. That's the birthplace of a different breed of human. You see, people think strength is about muscles. It's not. Strength is doing the work you hate like you love it. It's waking up at 4 a.m. with nothing but pain in your body and still showing up. It's running when you're broken, studying when your brain is fried, fighting when you've already lost. Mental toughness is not genetic. It's not a gift. It's Yarnan. Every time you choose discomfort, every time you say yes to hard things, every time you stay in the fight a little longer than you thought possible, you grow that armor. You callous your mind. And let me be clear, comfort is a drug. The moment you start chasing ease, life starts beating you down. You want greatness? Then you better get real comfortable being uncomfortable. Because when it all goes to hell, and it will, what's going to save you is not motivation, it's not talent, it's mental toughness. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your training and mental toughness. That's the training you do in the dark, so you don't fold when life brings the heat. So the next time life kicks your ass, smile, because that's your moment, not to give up, but to show the world what you're made of. Stay hard. Pain is your starting line, not your finish line. Most people hear the word pain and immediately back down. They flinch, retreat, complain. They think pain means they've gone too far. But that's where they've got it twisted. Pain isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's where the real work starts. It's the moment life strips away your excuses and asks you, who the hell are you really? See, we've been raised soft, conditioned to avoid discomfort at all costs. The second we feel a burn, the second something aches or pushes back, we tap out. We rationalize. We lie to ourselves. I need to rest. I deserve a break. This is too much. But deep down, we know the truth. That voice inside, that's weakness talking. That's your comfort zone pulling you back into mediocrity. Pain is the entrance fee to greatness. You think champions are born in comfort. You think anyone who's ever done something legendary didn't bleed for it. No. Every single one of them met pain face to face and chose to stay in it longer than anyone else was willing to. That's the difference. Not talent, not luck, just the decision to suffer for something bigger than themselves. When I was broken, when I weighed almost 300 pounds, when I couldn't even look in the mirror without shame, that was pain. But instead of running from it, I used it. I looked that pain dead in the eyes and said, "You're not here to stop me. You're here to show me what's next." Pain became the map. Every ache in my body pointed toward the next level. You don't build strength when things are easy. You don't become a savage sitting on your couch, binge, watching comfort and convenience. You become unstoppable when you push past the quitting point. Again, you go until it hurts. Then you go some more. That's where the growth lies. That's where your identity gets rewritten. Everyone wants to talk about their goals, six-pack business success. mental clarity, but they don't want to pay the price. They don't want to get up at 4 a.m. They don't want to run with blisters. They don't want to study when they're exhausted. They want results, but not the suffering that produces those results. They don't understand that pain is not punishment. It's the process. The moment it hurts is the moment you begin. That's when the fake version of you starts dying. That lazy, weak, entitled version. That voice that's been telling you you're not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy. That voice lives in comfort. And when you choose pain, you suffocate it. You silence it with action, with discipline, with grit. Pain is pure. It doesn't lie. It's the most honest teacher you'll ever meet. It exposes the parts of you that need work. It humbles you. It breaks you open so you can build something new inside. Every mile past exhaustion, every rep past failure, every minute spent grinding when no one's watching, that's not suffering. That's construction. That's where the real version of you is built. That's where your future self is forged, brick by brick, in sweat, blood, and tears. Pain is the doorway, and most people spend their whole lives standing outside, too afraid to walk through. Your mind quits long before your body does. That's a fact most people never want to face. They think they're tired. They think they're done, but it's just their mind throwing in the towel way too early. Your body, it's still got gas in the tank, but your mind lies, it whispers, this is too much, when it's barely even begun. That voice wants comfort. That voice wants you to stop because it's scared of what happens when you keep going. Most people hit about 40% of what they're capable of, and then they shut it down. They tap out mentally and convince themselves it's physical, but it's not. It's weakness disguised as logic. It's fear wearing the mask of common sense. Your muscles are still working. Your lungs are still pulling air. Your heart is still pumping, but your mind, soft from years of avoiding hardship, tells you it's over, and you believe it. That's the problem. You trust the lie. When I was out there running on fractured legs, pissing blood, hallucinating from lack of sleep, I learned something real. The human body is a machine built to endure. It will carry you through hell and back if you command it to, but most people never find that out. Because the second the burn hits, the second it starts to suck, they back off. They think pain means danger. Pain means growth. Pain is the trigger. Your mind is trying to protect you from that, but in doing so, it's robbing you of your potential. You've got to stop giving your mind a seat at the table when it's time to suffer, when it's time to grind, push, to go into that dark place. The mind is a saboteur. It will do everything in its power to convince you to quit. You have to override it. You have to take control and say, no, we're not done. We're just getting started. Because once you get past that mental quit line, once you break through that wall, there's another version of you waiting on the other side. A stronger version. A version that understands pain isn't fatal, it's fuel. People don't understand how far they can really go. They've never been tested, not truly. They train when they feel good. They show up when it's convenient. But life doesn't hand out victories to people who operate on comfort. It rewards the ones who learn to suffer well, who learn to recognize the voice in their head and tell it to shut the hell up. You can be in pain. You can be tired. You can feel like death is knocking, but you still have more to give. The body will carry you through almost anything, but only if the mind lets it. So train your mind like a muscle. Beat it into submission. Break it, rebuild it, and make it your weapon. Because if you don't, it'll be your cage. And you'll never know what your body was truly capable of because your mind quit long before it had the chance to show you comfort is the enemy of greatness. It's that warm, soft blanket that wraps around you and tells you everything's fine when it's not. It's the reason people stay average, the reason people die full of regret. Comfort convinces you to take it easy, to sleep in, to skip the workout, to settle for good enough. But comfort is a liar. Comfort is where dreams go to die. You don't find greatness on your couch. You don't become a savage by choosing what's easy. Everything you want, every goal, every achievement, every version of you that you admire, it's all hiding on the other side of pain. And to get there, you've got to go through the fire. But comfort says, why bother? Comfort says, you've already done enough. Comfort says, rest, you deserve it. That voice sounds sweet, but it's poison. It wants to keep you soft. It wants to keep you weak. It wants to keep you like everybody else. Scared to struggle, scared to push, scared to hurt. I've been on both sides. I lived in comfort. I was overweight, insecure, lying to myself every damn day. I knew I wasn't doing the work, but I wanted the results. That's comfort's trap. It sells you on shortcuts that don't exist. Then I stepped into discomfort, into pain, into discipline, and everything changed. I realized nothing grows in comfort. You don't build muscle, grit, or character by doing what feels good. You build it by doing what sucks over and over until your mind doesn't flinch anymore. The problem is comfort feels safe. It tricks you into believing you're doing okay. You've got food, a bed, a routine, no stress, no pressure. But that's exactly where danger lies. Because while you're getting cozy, life is getting ready to punch you in the face. And if you've been living soft, you won't have what it takes to hit back. That's why I chase discomfort daily. That's why I put myself through pain on purpose. Because I'm not going to wait for life to test me. I'm going to test myself first. Greatness is earned in suffering. It's carved out in the early mornings, the late nights, the lonely reps, the silent miles. When everyone else is resting, you're working. When they're relaxing, you're sharpening your mind. That's the edge. That's what separates the killers from the quitters. Not talent, not luck. Just the willingness to choose discomfort when comfort is calling. Comfort will seduce you with convenience, with ease, with soft options. But if you listen, you become a slave to it. You'll look up one day and realize you're stuck. Same job, same habits, same body, every same excuses, because you never chose to suffer. You never chose to get uncomfortable enough to change. You wanted the prize without the pain. But that's not how this works. You have to earn every inch, every rep, every damn breakthrough, and the only way to do that is to step away from comfort and into the fire where greatness is forged. Mental toughness is built, not born. People love to throw that "you're just different" card at anyone who pushes beyond average. Like it's some genetic lottery. Like you came out of the womb ready to suffer. That's the biggest excuse out there. The lie people tell themselves to feel better about never putting in the work. I wasn't born tough. Nobody is. I built it. One miserable rep at a time. One early morning when I didn't want to move. One brutal failure after another. That's where it happens. You think you're going to wake up with grit. You think discipline just shows up like a delivery at door. No. It gets carved into your brain every time you choose the harder path. Mental toughness isn't talent. It's earned. You build in the trenches when you're tired, when you're cold, when you're broken and your body is screaming to stop. That's the lab where toughness is made. Not on sunny days. Not when it's easy. Not when you feel good. Most people don't even let themselves get close to it. The moment discomfort knocks, they run back to comfort. That's why they stay the same. They think tough people were just born with something they didn't get. That's soft thinking. That's the language of losers. Mental toughness is available to everyone, but very few are willing to go through the pain to earn it. I used to be soft, fat, weak, hiding from everything, hiding from who I was, and nobody handed me a map to change. I had to become my own blueprint. I had to create a savage out of nothing, and it sucked. It still sucks. But that's the point. You don't get mentally tough by doing what you like. You get tough by doing what you hate, doing it well, and doing it when no one's clapping for you, when no one's watching, when there's no payoff in sight. Every time you feel like quitting and you don't, you're laying a brick. Every time you drag yourself out of bed when your body says no, you're forging something. You're building that internal armor, the kind that can't be broken when life goes sideways. Because life will hit you hard. And if you haven't trained that mind, if you haven't been in the fire on your own terms, you'll fold. You'll panic, you'll break. But if you've done the work, if you've embraced the suffering, you'll lean into it. You'll smile at it. You'll own it. That's why I put myself through pain daily. That's why I don't skip the grind, even when I hate it, especially when I hate it. Because every hard thing I do by choice prepares me for the hard things I don't see coming. And the more you suffer now, the less you suffer later. Mental toughness doesn't come from motivation. It comes from repetition, from showing up when every part of you wants out, from earning the right to look in the mirror and say, I'm not who I used to be. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. But most people don't live that way. They live like slaves to the moment. They chase the quick hit, the easy out, the instant payoff. That's weakness. That's how you stay stuck. Discipline isn't flashy. It's not fun. It's boring. It's repetitive. And it's hard as hell. But it's the only thing that builds a real foundation. If you keep giving in to what you want now, you'll never get what you want most. Not ever. Everyone wants to be something. Everyone wants success, greatness, strength, respect. But they keep choosing sleep over effort, sugar over fuel, scrolling over studying. They choose distraction over discipline. And they wonder why nothing changes. You don't get what you want just because you wish for it. You get it because you sacrifice for it. Over and over, when no one's watching and there's no applause. You get it by delaying what feels good now, so you can earn what actually matters. I didn't become disciplined because I had some superhuman willpower. I became disciplined because I was sick of being soft. I was sick of lying to myself. I saw what my life was becoming, and I made a decision, not once, but every damn day. Discipline is a decision you make every time you're tempted to take the easy way out. It's not about motivation. Motivation is weak. It dies when it gets tired. Discipline shows up when everything else fades. When the body hurts. When the mind's screaming to quit. Discipline steps in and says, I keep going. You think I wanted to run on broken legs? You think I wanted to study with a brain fried from exhaustion? You think I enjoyed waking up at 4 a.m. every morning when my body was destroyed? Hell no. But I did it. Because what I wanted most was to change. What I wanted most was to build a version of myself that could withstand anything. That version doesn't come from doing what feels good. It comes from doing what's necessary, even when it sucks. The world will always offer you the shortcut. Fast food, fast money, fast comfort. But greatness isn't fast. It's earned day by day, inch by inch. Every time you choose discipline, you stack another brick on that unbreakable mindset. You train your mind to obey you, not your cravings, not your mood, not your excuses. Discipline is how you build trust in yourself. It's how you earn self-respect. Not by doing the easy thing, but by doing the right thing when it's the hardest thing. People look for hacks. There are no hacks. There's just hard work done consistently through pain, boredom, fatigue, and doubt. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. And every time you say no to what you want now, to sleep, to junk, to comfort, and say yes to what you want most, you move one step closer to becoming a savage who does not fold, who does not quit, who does not negotiate with weakness. The only way out is through every damn time. People keep looking for exits, shortcuts, side doors, some secret path that lets them avoid the suffering. They want the transformation without the breakdown. They want the reward without the grind. But life doesn't work that way. Pain doesn't vanish just because you ignore it. Fear doesn't disappear because you pretend you're fine. The only way to beat the demons is to face them. Head on. No retreat, no detour, no excuses. You can't outrun the hard parts. You can't outsmart the struggle. You have to walk straight into it and keep going when it gets worse. And it will get worse. That's when most people break. That's when they turn around. They think discomfort means they're on the wrong path. Nah. Discomfort means you're exactly where you need to be. That's the entry point. That's the initiation. That's the door to the next level of you, and it only opens when you're willing to suffer. When I was going through hell, and I mean real hell, I learned real quick that the pain wasn't going to pass just because I wanted it to. It wasn't going to back off because I cried or complained or begged. The only way to survive it was to lean into it. To take every punch and keep moving forward. To keep showing up when my body was wrecked. When my mind was screaming to quit. When everything in me wanted to lie down and die. You go through the fire or you stay broken. Everyone wants the finish line, but they're afraid of the race. They want to be tough, but don't want to go through what makes you tough. They want to be resilient without ever getting tested. That's not how it works. You build strength by suffering. You build grit by grinding when there's no end in sight. You earn confidence by pushing through when there's every reason to stop. You don't level up by avoiding the pain. You level up by walking straight into it, embracing it, and not flinching. Most people fall because they think the hard part is a mistake. But that hard part, that is the process. It's not a detour. It's the path. It's supposed to suck. That's how you shed the weak version of yourself. That's how you kill the voice that's been holding you back your entire life. Every minute you survive the chaos, you get closer to the person you were meant to be. But that only happens if you stop looking for the exit and start walking through the fire like you were built for it. You want to know who you are? Go through something brutal, not once, over and over. Keep stepping forward when everything in you says turn back. That's how you find out what you're really made of. That's how you silence the lies. That's how you prove to yourself that you're not done, that you've still got more in the tank, that no matter what life throws your way, you're the one who refuses to back down. So here's the truth. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you discipline, hand you grit, hand you greatness. You either build it or you stay the same. You either step into the fire or you live your life running from it. Every excuse you make, every shortcut you take, every time you choose comfort, you're feeding the weakest part of yourself. But every time you face it, every time you choose the hard way, you take your power back, you sharpen your mind, you harden your spirit. That's how savages are made, not by talking, not by wishing, by doing. So stop negotiating with weakness. Get up, get after it, and stay hard.